Hi and welcome to the Creative Movie Makers Blog Hub. I'm designer Jen Gallacher, and a few of my friends and I have gotten together to create special videos just for you. In today's hub, we will be sharing tutorials on cards, projects, and layouts, so be sure to visit each of the people listed in the information section of this video. I'm going to show you a layout using a creative kit from Cartabella paper. Let's go ahead and get started. So today I'm going to be using the Hello Again collection from Cartabella paper, and I wanted to show you first what comes in a collection kit. So oftentimes you will get a sheet of paper or some kind of packaging that indicates what is actually in the collection kit. Some companies include just paper, some include an alpha sticker sheet and an element sticker sheet, as well as die cuts and other ephemera and brads and embellishments. This particular collection kit only includes paper and an element sticker sheet. It is double-sided paper, and it is printed on a textured heavyweight cardstock pattern so that you can create fun die cut things. And throughout the hop you'll see a variety of collection kits. Some will be the same and some will be different. And each of the designers are going to make a project that is all their own. But we wanted to show you how by using collection kits you can create some fun projects. So this is the paper from this collection. Let me show you the stickers as well. And it is a fun sticker sheet that includes everyday kind of sentiments and images. So I decided that I wanted to make a layout today. So let's go ahead and make a layout from start to finish so you can see my process for using a collection kit, as well as some additional embellishments to create a layout. So first I'm starting with a 4x6 horizontal journaling card. It does have a telephone pattern on the back, and then I wanted this watercolor wash pattern which has the blue floral on the back. And I don't know if you can see on camera, but there are slots here that look very similar to a notebook punch. And to make it a little more authentic, I'm going to punch a hole through the top of each of these. You could use a larger hole punch if you'd like. I'm just using kind of a smaller one. And then you can use scissors or a tear in the paper to make them look like you ripped this journaling card from an actual notebook. So this adds just a little bit more interest to it, and then you can just dress it up a little bit with your fingers. And that's what it looks like up close up. Now we'll go ahead and adhere this card to the top of this watercolor wash pattern. You'll see that I'm doing an 8.5 by 11 inch layout. The next thing that I'm going to attach is I took some of the leftover from this pattern paper, again, floral on the back, and I saved it and I made sure I had a big enough piece that would go across 8.5 by 11 inches, or rather 8.5 inches wide. I'll simply stick that right on top there. And tucked in on the bottom, I'm going to use this fun chevron, and it's kind of got an ombre wash to it, has pink dots on the other side. Stick that right below. And then something I often do is I add photo corners to the corners of the pockets, or rather the pattern paper down at the bottom, left and right sides. And I'm using them in craft. They do come in white. These are from Canson and they are self-adhesive. Sometimes you have to lick the back of them. Just depends on the brand that you have. I've cut some stickers from the actual sticker sheet, and you'll notice that I leave the backing on the stickers. This allows me to kind of move things around and get a feel for where I'm thinking of placing items. So I kind of tentatively want this big floral sticker, which is similar to the one on the pattern paper here. I have pre-cut this photograph of my daughter, and I'm going to use a crepe paper frame. It's from the Pure collection on top, and it's in a muted yellow. So we'll go ahead and do that by using some glue dots. And one way that I'll do that is I'll add a glue dot to the corner of the photo. See how I've just added glue dots, and then I want to make sure that when I place it in the photo, it is the right side. And then I just press those glue dots right down. Then you can add regular adhesive to hold it in place. And I'm thinking I'm going to place it right here. So then I need to determine, and I don't press it down all the way because I want to add the sticker behind. So I'll go ahead at this point and peel that sticker from the backing. And if you're only using part of the sticker, you could cut it in half. I'm going to stick it like that. And I think below that I'm going to add a doily. And I'll use just a common doily about 4 inches in diameter behind the 2 items that I've already put down. And I can do this because I haven't quite stuck them down all the way. Gently lift and add the doily. And I'm going to scoot everything over a little bit. I change my mind quite frequently, and by pressing gently, then I can make sure that I still have room for things like my doily. Below the fun rotochrome frame, I'm going to add some more pattern paper. And I'm going to add some in this gold diamond. It says little sentiments on the back. This hatch pattern in pink, and it has little darts on the back. And then I'm going to use another strip of that darts paper, but I'm going to use the darts facing upwards. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to add borders, and you can do that by using stickers or pattern paper or ribbon. I'm going to go ahead and use this ruler. It's a gold color from the sticker sheet, and we'll peel it away from the backing. Again, you can see that I've cut it from the actual sticker sheet so I could get a feel for what it was going to look like on my page. I'm going to slightly overlap it, and then I can trim off any excess that is left over. So I simply turn it over and trim off this side, and you could stick this sticker back on the sticker sheet to use for later if you desired. Now, rather than just use these pattern papers as blocks, I'm going to go ahead and create some pennant shapes from them. And I just cut the triangles from the bottom of them. This is something I do quite frequently. And we'll start with the gold diamond one. And we'll stick it just below that frame and hanging straight down. Then we'll use the darts. You could ink the edges as well if you want to further distress the paper. Having it inked with a textured pattern paper is a nice look. Layer this on top. And I've cut them in a variety of widths and lengths. That's a lot more interesting than having them all the same. And I usually have at least 3 or any odd number that I can think of. We'll overlap the pink. This one is going to be a little bit longer. And then between the 2 different pennants, I'm going to add some of this Doodle Bug gray dotted washi tape. We'll stick the top part underneath our frame, and then we'll tear off the bottom part. If it looks like your frame isn't sticking enough, go ahead and add additional glue dots or whatever you need to help it stay in place. Now that I know how I want things to look, I'm more comfortable with putting them in place. A fun trend that I'm seeing a lot of is sequins, and I've put them in a very fancy baggie. You could also separate these by color. And I'll just pile them on my desk. They do have a variety from Teresa Collins has a bunch, and Studio Calico has a bunch. I love these little wood grain ones from Studio Calico. They're a lot of fun. And I usually use a glue dot. You can machine stitch them. I've also threaded them on twine to attach them to my layout. And you could stick a pin in them as well. Just add a few different colors. You could use all the same colors. And they do seem to come in a variety of sizes, so you have some options there as well. So then to the top of the frame, I want to add a sticker that says "You're number 1 in my book." And rather than just have it lay flat, I'm going to add some adhesive foam squares on the back. And it is thin, and so you'll probably have to cut them in half. So we'll just lay that on our layout and add the adhesive foam squares. And you'll just want to make sure that they're small enough that they don't show on the front. And just a few will help it stick up. 3 or 4 will be plenty. And I'm using smaller ones to start with, which makes it a little bit easier. If you want to skip this process, you can stick the sticker just flat onto the top of that frame. Peel off the backing and then it's ready to go. It's going to cover up that rhodochrome word. Then to the bottom of this pink banner, I'm going to add some crochet twine. You could add some baker's twine or ribbon if you prefer that instead. And we'll just slightly wrap it around, pulling it taut each time, about 3 or 4 times depending on how much twine. You can do a little more or you can do a little less. And then we'll tie that into a bow. And trim off any excess twine that you don't need. I have some cork pieces from Studio Calico that I want to add. This adds a little bit more of the craft color that we used in our photo corners. Just run these down the side of the dart pattern paper. And they are self-adhesive. Or you can cut cork as long as it's thin, or die cut, and even sometimes punch depending on how thick the cork is. That adds just a little bit to the pattern paper. Then I have an older pink paisley tab that I'm going to add to the top of the frame, and I only want the seriously word to show. If your adhesive won't allow you to pull it up, just cut off whatever you need. And then you can add it to the frame, and it's very subtle. I'll show you what it looks like close up, but you can see that I'm just layering a bunch of objects. Now to this side here, where it has already some journaling prompts, you can add your own journaling, and this is a popular journaling prompt I'm seeing lately, where it starts out with asking you what you're loving or seeing or doing or making, and then you can fill it in with a pen. I'll go ahead and do that and show you what it looks like. So I took this opportunity to add in some journaling about things that my daughter is seeing and doing and enjoying right now. So that's a great way to add some things to personalize her particular love of life right now. So I'm also going to add a few buttons that I've pre-tied with twine, and they are just tied with crochet twine. And we'll go ahead and add these to the fun border here. Then I have a stamp that I'm going to use on this particular layout, and I'm going to use Memento London Fog, and it is a nice gray color, and this particular stamp set is from Technique Tuesday, and this is what it looks like. I'll stamp that down here. It's a little bit more subtle than a black would be. You could also use any of the colors that you find in this layout. And I stamped it, leaving some room for a title. And we're going to use the title from a little yellow bicycle sticker sheet, and it is a white canvas sticker sheet. And you'll notice that as I'm placing the stickers that I want to spell the word happy, but there aren't enough letters to do 2 P's. So I'll show you what I do. So first let's start with the H-A, and the first P that I have that is a real and true P. And I wanted to point out that the P is similar but not quite the same as the D, and that's what we're going to use. We're going to use one regular and then one D for the P. It's not quite the same, but it visually doesn't stick out, so it works. So this layout used a Carta Bella paper collection kit. Be sure to look below for all of the designers participating in this blog hop today and leave a comment so that we know that you visited. Thank you for joining us today.